Hey guys, it's Mel here from simplylive.com.au. Just coming to you from a chilly morning in southern Spain in the middle of winter on New Year's Eve 2018. I just wanted to wish everybody an incredible 2019. I am down at the doggy park entertaining the doggies. As I did say to you, we were doing all videos, warts and all, as they happen and as I get a moment. I may have to cut the video off super fast if other dogs come along, because one of these gorgeous dogs, however gorgeous she may be, does not really love the company of other pets. So if I go suddenly, I will try and get back later in the day and do a follow-up video to talk about some of the things I did want to talk about. But I really haven't prepared anything. I just wanted to speak from the heart and tell you what's been happening for me this year. But most importantly, before that, as I say, a huge, fantastic 2019 for all of my friends and family from all over the world and wherever I may have met you, as well as my lifelong friends and everybody home in Australia and everywhere else. So many people have had a traumatic year this year in 2018, like incredible numbers of people getting really sick with nasty illnesses and diseases and losing family members, and we've lost a few of our friends as well. And you know, people just dealing with divorces and trauma and so much stuff. And I, you know, almost feel guilty that I've had an incredible year. But I'd like to think that along the way I've been able to chat to some people and help some people and deal with that at least a little bit somewhere. And I think that that's part of my purpose of what I'm on the planet to do and why I do what I do now and how much my life has changed. So for those people in particular, if you've had a crap year and you're still dealing with a crap year, geez, I hope 2019 is better for you from the very bottom of my heart. So moving on, before I get too emotional, what have I learnt this year? Wow, it's been a big year for me. Once again, selling up, going back home to Australia was amazing to see my family and friends, and I'll get emotional again. It was great to see everybody, and I do miss everybody all the time. So don't think that I don't. Doesn't mean I'm not having a great time. Doesn't mean I'm regretting my decision, but I do miss everybody, especially days like today, New Year's and Christmas and birthdays and all of those things. But I did go home and sell up my home and the last of my possessions. I still don't know where this is all leading me. I love what I'm doing now. I've discovered that in being in one place for a while, that I get bored quite easily, and I love the adventure and I love the challenge and I love the people that I meet, and it's just an incredible time that I have in seeing so many things and doing so much. I do have to this year make a few little changes. I will have to find some way to financially support myself to some degree. The cost of my living, as I've said many times, is far less than you can ever imagine, and far less than I ever had in Australia. And you know, it financially, this is far better for me than anything else. And if you think you need to put together a financial position to do what I'm doing, I think you need to have a financial position to do what you're doing, because I can tell you this is so much cheaper. Not everybody wants to live the way that I do, I understand that. And I'm sure there's many other ways that people can explore. I just would encourage you to, if you're unhappy with how you are, then to take some time out to look at some of those options for you, because they're out there, and we're just not made aware of them, or we don't think about them, and we think we have to live in a particular way, and we simply don't. And time will tell where my journey ends. I have seen some incredible places and some beautiful things. I think I've discovered this year that I love cities and I love looking at things, not so much the tourist monuments per se, but certainly the vibe of the place and the architecture and the people. And once again, I come back to over and over again, it's the people that have always mattered to me more. And I can be, you know, I was in Sevilla and went out for a day sightseeing, because I only did have a couple of days there, so I used them as sightseeing days because it's such a spectacular city. You've got to go there. And then met this woman just standing at a church because we saw a wedding on, and this random stranger, and got chatting to her. And yes, we still wandered around the city and saw a few things, but I can tell you neither of us saw all that much because we just got so busy chatting, and it was about 12 hours, I think, of chatting as we wandered around talking about life, solving the world's and our own personal issues and stuff, and just had an amazing day and kept that connection with her since. And there's been many others that I've met on trains and buses and places, and the pet sitter, the hosts of the pet sits that I look after, some of them have just been incredible, and I hope to have them as lifelong friends, whether I ever do pet sitting with them again, and seeing the differences in that. It's been great living in people's houses and seeing how people live, how different people eat, what goes on, the different cultures in different places. That's just been incredible as well. I think for me, a really big change over the last couple of years has been not being busy and not having stuff to do in terms of that busyness factor. My days are full. I just couldn't tell you what I do with them. And I have the most incredible time. And yeah, half the time I couldn't even tell you what I do. But it's not that frantic, busy, scheduled deadline thing that I used to do and have to do all of the time. As part of that, and as growing in that way, it's allowed me to sit into a space where I've got in connection more with some sort of spiritual connection. And I'm not going to talk about that a great deal today. Maybe I'll do another video on another time. I don't understand it necessarily. I don't really care if I do. It feels amazing. I am incredibly joyously happy in just being able to do what I do and exist. And I have moments, not just some moments, I have most of my moments, I'll just be sitting on the beach, or I'll just be sitting at home, and I just feel incredibly joyous and happy. And it's not a happiness, not a surfacey happy that I used to feel for doing fun things. It's this deep down core happy, and this spiritual connectedness that I seem to have, not in a religious sense. I'm not a religious person at all. No offence, I'm not having a go at anybody who may be. I hope that you feel the same. But just in terms of a connectedness with the planet, with people, with the environment, with animals, but particularly with people. And I've really developed my empathic skills and ability to help people along the way, and that is now the core of my life, and I want it to continue as such. I don't do paid work at this stage. I have had a little odd random little bit and piece with nutritional stuff. At the moment everything is voluntary, and I'd really like to continue that way, and that's one of my big challenges for 2019. If I had my way, I would not work for any money whatsoever. Of course there are some things that cost me a little bit of money, an incredibly small amount. Really, I'm talking in terms of $100 to $200 a week, so just nothing. But I do have to replace that and fund that as I go around, because I'm not a wealthy person and I don't have a massive retirement fund and all of those things. I have to figure out how to support myself for the next 20 years to official retirement age, I suppose, and probably for the next 50 to 70 years, because I honestly hold the belief I'll probably live to about 120, and I don't say that mockingly, I really do believe that. So I have to make sure that I can subsist. If I can find ways, my preference would be to find ways to do that via barter, and to find ways to effectively offer services in return for what I need to exist, even more than I do now. I don't know if that's going to be possible, because some of the things I need money for, like food, gets paid to supermarkets, and travel gets paid to bus lines and train lines, which obviously I can't do a direct barter on with those companies. So there's got to be some way I manage that. But we'll continue the path of trying to get down. Minimalism as a concept has become incredibly more important to me, not just from the point of view of my life, but what I realise about the planet. I mean, we basically can't exist as a planet going the way that we are, and the consumerism people have over stuff. And I have so many people who say to me that they, only subside on the basics of life. And when I look at their homes and everything that they have, they just simply don't realise how much stuff that they have and how much excess they have. There is certainly a very big contrast between Southern European life and Australian life. In Australia, when I went back to Australia, I was certainly hit by the mass consumerism and advertising there, but it does happen in many, many, many places. And our planet can't exist if we continue to do that. So, you know, from an environmental perspective, I'm doing everything that I can to move forward in that, to keep my life simple and to use the resources that other people don't use. So that is important to me, and I hope I can continue that in the future. I may have to go shortly because another dog's approaching, so we'll just see whether the dog's going nuts. No, he's going the other way. It's all good. Also, you know, part of the minimalist thing is that you have so much more time on your hands, and you have so much more money to do what you actually want to do. And with time comes peace. With time comes doing the things that bring you joy and love, and a peace in your heart and soul that I simply can't describe to you. So, you know, once again, I'll do more videos on that. If there's anything that anybody wants some videos on, as a reminder, please drop some questions to me, comment in here, get onto my Facebook page, simplylive.com.au, send me a message. Sorry, that's my website, simplylive.com.au, and of course there's the Facebook page as well. Just in any way you can get hold of me and send me through what you want to know, or anything that I might say here that even might trigger you a little bit. That's the other really big learning I've had from the last 2 years, is how people get triggered and angry, and I'm talking angry about my lifestyle choices. And that's really interesting and something I want to continue to delve into. I say constantly, over and over and over again, that when I say I'm living an amazing life and these are the things, the reasons why I find it great, I'm trying to educate people that there's another way. I see so many people who feel hopeless and frustrated and upset about the way they're living their life, and they wish they could do something else, and their health suffers and their mental health suffers, and yet they don't see another way. Well, I'm saying there's another way. My way may not be your way, but I'm saying there is another way, and I want to make sure people know that there are options that they can choose from, even if it's not for now, even if it's, we've got to wait until the kids get older and we're more independent, and we can do that too. At least you know there's hope at the end of the tunnel, that you don't have light at the end of the tunnel, and there's some hope. You don't have to continue to do what you're unhappy to do for the rest of your days. So that's my choices and that's my decisions, and I say over and over and over again to people that, you know, this is not a judgment call on your life. This is just what I do, and I really enjoy it. But people get angry and they come at me. I've had people on Facebook forums who have then, you know, made comments saying that I must have some other agenda. That if I've dared to say something about, oh, that could be good, you know, I could earn some money out of that I've had someone launch into me going, I knew it, I knew that you were just out here to make a money-making venture out of this, and you put yourself out as someone who just wants to do this do-good life, but in fact, you know, it's about making some money, you know, and I just go, wow, I've never said I don't have to earn something. I do have to find a way to support myself. And whether I do or not is my stuff. But wow, why do you think I've got this massive agenda over everything? And I've had people call me idealistic, which actually I don't mind, because I'm quite happy to be an idealist and think broader. I'm okay with that. But you know, living in fairyland and you know, all of this sort of stuff, which is just incredible to me. It's just incredible to me how triggered people can get when you challenge the norm, and when you challenge and try to show that there's other things that you can do. And I get that that's their stuff. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't upset me. I just simply look at it as, wow, that's interesting. And I certainly saw it in Australia. I saw people really react. I had people who, you know, never said anything, but they certainly didn't make any effort to come and see me either. And it's an interesting process that I certainly want to delve into more, into why that happens and how that happens in the future. So there's so much to delve into over the next year. And I think the big key for me is, you know, developing my spiritual side even more, developing my empathetic side, working more with people, helping people as best that I can. and of course helping animals, because I simply love the company that I have, and these guys are being super patient. I better throw a ball again, waiting for me while they're running around having a little bit of a good time down here. The other thing I just really wanted to say, especially on New Year's Eve, is I have an amazing, incredible, safe time. I travel solo. I'm in my 50s. I travel solo around the world. I don't do it in classy hotels. I don't do it in highly secured, videotaped airports. I'm on buses in the middle of the night. I'm on train stops. I'm walking around cities I don't know. I don't speak the language, even though I try and pick up a couple of words as I go. And I'm not saying that I don't take care at all. I'm not that stupid or naive. Not everybody is beautiful in the world, but let me tell you, the majority are. Seriously, the majority of people are amazing, and my heart is full. I was so jaded in Australia hearing about all the dreadful stuff in the world and how intolerant and hate-filled and nasty people were, and how they hated this culture and this religious group and that religious group. And I just went, wow, the world's become so hate-filled. And then you get out and interact in it, and when you're face to face with people, they're not. They're really not. And so if I can ask you, for yourself, for the planet, for everybody else, but particularly for you and your own peace of mind, get out there, travel. If you think that the world is a horrible, hate-filled place, number one, turn off your TV, because they're filling you with lies, let me tell you. Turn off your TV and stop listening to that garbage, and avoid any other forms of big published media as well, as much as you can. And then get out and meet people. Now, if you can travel, and I don't mean a holiday travel where you hold up into a hotel, because you're not going to meet the locals that way. Get out and slum it a bit, and do a B&B where you're living with, if you're in Italy, that you're living with an Italian person who hardly speaks the language, and stay with them a little bit, and stay at a few B&Bs or hostels, or stay in a hotel if you need to, but actually go and sit in the coffee shops. Make time out just to go and sit in the coffee shops and look around you, and look at the community and the friendships and the way that they live, and interact with the planet a lot more and understand what's going on. And if you have an interest, do some of that interest while you're overseas. If you love stand-up paddleboarding, go stand-up paddleboarding in Spain. There's plenty of it here. There's plenty of surfing here. There's all sorts of stuff that happen, or dancing. Go and do it, and actually interact with the locals doing it. If you can't travel, then do it in your local area. Australia's a multicultural country. Some of us love that, and some of people hate it, but it's there. So make the most of it. If you have a certain bias towards a particular group of people, go meet them. Go meet them and talk to them and spend some time with them, and understand that if you've held that bias, you're probably giving off that energy, and when you first join that group, that they may pick up on that, and they may not welcome you initially as well as you would like. Take a little bit of time out and actually get to know them. And if you still hold that view afterwards, well, you still hold that view afterwards, and more power to you for giving it a whirl. But I think what you'll find is that they're just like us. We have so many more similarities than we do differences, and it's all just nuances that make us different. And you'll find that people are helpful and wonderful and joyous and happy and sad, and go through all the same stuff that we do. So please, in 2019, don't let hate win. Don't let the media win. Don't let the people who want to divide us win so that they can spend more money on wars. That's not what we're here to do. Do something good. Just remember to smile at people. Be kind. Be part of anything that you can be part of. And I'm going to stop it there now. It's plenty long enough. Have an amazing New Year's. I know that Australia is nearly there. I hope I get back in time to upload this before New Year's Eve actually hits in Australia. I am thinking of you, Australia. Happy New Year. And if I get the chance today, I'm hoping to go to the New Year's celebrations locally. We'll see how the dogs will manage that. And if I can, I'll take you some video of a Spanish New Year's Eve later on. Better go. Mozzarella having a bit of a heart attack at another puppy. Happy New Year's, guys. Thinking of you. Love you all. Bye.